So, Republicans intellectual Marjorie Taylor Greene has accidentally said she wanted to arrest Trump. Yes, her ramblings go on so long and she has no idea what she's saying, but she always gets to the end where she says something really dumb. Take a look at this.
Congresswoman, you have been one of the champions of trying to reduce spending in government, trying to get this crazy budget down, get inflation down. Joe Biden just gave one of the great giveaways in American history before an election: $10,000 to $20,000 off from anyone who's got a student loan. Your thoughts on that student loan cancellation? Is it even legal? Is there any legal authority to even do this?
Okay, let's talk about legal authority. Republicans have put forward multiple bills to strip Biden of the legal authority to forgive student loan debt. Now, Republicans seem to say he has it, and yet she's still allowed to go on Republican news to lie about it because they actually think their voters are just that stupid. Even though Marjorie Taylor Greene was forgiven $183,000 in PPP loan, and they had the legal authority to forgive that too. Then sue. Because Republicans are actually trying to figure out some way to sue the Biden administration to undo this law. We know that the Supreme Court, the Republican whack jobs that they have, that the media completely ignores all the time, will be willing to entertain any Republican delusion if they can harm Democrats. We know that Republicans on the court that Twitler has put in will gladly block the Biden administration of doing anything whatsoever, no matter how dumb it is. Reduce spending. This is the same thing that they attack Democrats about all the time. They repeat the same line no matter what. Let's continue on.
No, absolutely not. I do not believe there's legal authority to just cancel student loan debt. But you pointed to the obvious, John, and that's we have elections coming in November, and the Democrats are in big, big trouble for what they've done to this country because voters are not excited to reelect Democrats with high inflation, outrageous crime rates, and a wide open border and gas prices no one can afford.
They talk about inflation. But what is inflation? Corporations price gouging and their inability to regulate their own supply chain. Because the federal government, figure this, is not involved in private business. So the inflation that she is complaining about, it's very specifically corporations not being regulated enough. How about crime? Here's where she says, Trump should go into prison. Yeah, she doesn't actually mean that. She doesn't mean anything that she says because she honestly can't. Wide open borders. You see, the thing is, when Republicans repeat wide open borders, they create the exact thing that they say they don't want. There's no such thing as wide open borders, and then there has been. And the fact that the media allows Republicans to say this lie on national television over and over again is because they're putting the thumb on the scale. Now, what would happen if there was actually open borders? Millions of people every day would travel to the United States. But there's not. What do they mean open borders? Not enough support? Not enough what? See, that's the thing. Gas prices on the way down, and the fact that, once again, corporation price gougings, nothing else. Let's continue on with their delusional ramble.
But the real truth is I believe that the student loan, the ability for 17 and 18-year-olds to take out a student loan to begin with, where they can borrow hundreds of thousands of dollars to go to college, maybe go to an Ivy League school, is the problem to begin with. You see, it should be difficult to take out loans with that much money. There should be a guarantee that they're able to pay it back, but it puts young people in a very bad situation to begin with. But then, in all reality, who are the people, most of these people, not all of them, but most of them, they're basically Democrat voters. I mean, look at how many of them have women's studies college degrees, sociology degrees, and how many of them are part of this whole gender confusion movement, or part of the movement that is the radical left that pursues the most absurd policies, woke policies that are just cursing our nation in every single way.
So here we get into, you're not allowed to go to college unless you're rich. Trot out that you just got the wrong degree. It's not that our fault that you got the wrong degree in college. You just weren't smart enough to get the right one. The one that, could actually pay off this debt. But the fact is, corporations have completely dropped the ball on creating actual good jobs in the United States. Let's take a look back at The Simpsons. When The Simpsons started, that was a home that you could afford in 1989 on the salary of someone that didn't go to college. In the beginning, the opening scene, when they ring Maggie up, look at that price. That is the price to raise a child every single day, every single month. Because that is the price that the economist that wrote on The Simpsons looked up and put it in as a joke to himself. The fact that, 30 years ago, a single dad could provide that house for his wife and his kids, that was not unreasonable. And then again, she did take out $183,000 in PPP loans that were forgiven. Let's continue on.
It's not fair to the hardworking Americans that never took out a loan, hardworking Americans that don't have debt, that pay off their bills, hardworking Americans that pay their taxes with no problem. Why do they have to pay for someone else's student loan debt?
Why do everyone have to pay? Because Democrats have been supporting Republican stupidity for generations. There's a reason why Republican states are welfare queens, leeches on America. They're the bleeding, festering wound of America's economy. Democrats are those that pay for this country, and not every policy in the United States has to help every single person. Some people need help in different ways. So first-time homeowners are being subsidized by those students. Those that don't buy a house for the first time. Yes, every policy does not have to help every single one. Policies have to be good. That's it. To allow Republicans to make this stupid comment and continue on like anything they say after this should be treated like it's reasonable, it's not the case. Let's watch more of this moron.
You see, when we become a country where there's no consequences and people aren't held responsible for the actions and the decisions they make, then we become a country of complete lawlessness.
Wow. Marjorie Taylor Greene wants Trump arrested. Gotta hold people accountable. See, the problem with the media is they give Republicans a pass every single time. A little bit more of this.
And that's what the Democrat Party wants. They want us to be a country of lawlessness, and that's why they're the defund the police party. That's why they're the party where you don't have to pay back loans. That's why they're the party that is just ripping our country apart. And Joe Biden is wrong. He can't break the law and just forgive everyone's student loan debt. It just doesn't work that way.
Now, why would Democrats want lawlessness? You know, blue states have a fraction of crime that red states do. Red states have 40% more violent crime, 30% more property crime, because Republicans complain, but they never work to solve the problem. But isn't Marjorie Taylor Greene the one that wanted to defund the FBI? Let's go back to sue him and have the court stop him, because they're desperately trying to find anyone withstanding. Because, hell, you know, these Republicans on the courts do not care about the United States nor its Constitution, and they're just political hacks. But this one might actually be a little too difficult for them, even them, to stop. So if you like those videos, please help. The YouTube algorithm is horribly biased against, progressives. And the Republicans have massive amounts of money just to buy it off. So every time you like, every time you put a comment down below, helps us out. So like, subscribe, and if you really want to help the environment, down below is a link to a GoFundMe page where it has a brand new power generation that is 0% carbon emission and one of the cheapest productions of electricity the world has ever had. So go down, help us out.